afternoon, and welcome back to Coffee with a Kick. I'm Xander, that's Keegan, and you know what? We have really done poorly. We'll just put it bluntly. We've done poorly these past couple match days coming through here. You're creeping back up on me, though. One pick at a time, coming back up towards me. 3-7 for myself, 4-6 for yourself here on a weekend that had a lot of twists and turns in it, we'll say. But first, we'll go ahead and hit the first match of the weekend. Unless you have something that you want to say.
No, it's, I can't win them all. But how much further am I behind you right now?
I think you're only behind by, let me see here. So adding in 34, you'll be only 5 picks behind. I'll be at 146, and you'll be at 141. And I won't say our losses, so it seems a little better. But again, remember, we pick wins, loss, and draws. So if you truly just guessed, that's a 33% hit rate. Now, I haven't gone back and done all the math on what would happen.
That's for the end of the season.
Yeah.
End of the season.
Yeah, end of this season, I'll go back and I'll figure out literally every match if you just pick the favorite, if you would do better. Odds are probably. But we don't know that for sure yet. Speaking of favorites not coming through, though, we did have a 2-2 draw to start off the weekend between West Ham and Liverpool. And to be frank, Liverpool kind of got bailed out in this one with an own goal there in the 65th.
Yeah, this one, a little bit of controversy around whether there was a play where the keeper rolled the ball out. There wasn't a foul called. They thought there was a foul called. The ref waved it on. Who knows? But he was not supposed to roll it out, and so Gakpo was going to score it in, and that would have been the winner. Controversy aside, yeah, Liverpool getting bailed out with the own goal, and they just did not look like the Liverpool team we saw even just 2 or 3 weeks ago. They look lost, and they look like they're ready for the season to be over.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, it is for them. They don't have much of a shot of catching either Arsenal or Manchester City at this point. City's up on them by 4 points with the game in hand. No shot there. You're not gonna drop that many points at this point in the season if you're City. You're showing the quality at this time. So Liverpool's stuck in third. They'll be in the Champions League next year. Klopp won't be there. We'll see what happens, but they can kind of wrap up shop at this point. And then that takes us to a nice... Oh, we both got that wrong, by the way, because we thought Liverpool would win. Speaking of another one we both got wrong, Crystal Palace, of course, didn't come through for us when we tried to get them to come through for us with a 1-1 draw. A rather dull 1-1 match here between Fulham and Crystal Palace. A total of 6 shots on goal between the two sides. Not a lot going on.
Yeah, there were a few chances early that Mateta actually put wide. So a couple of their shots, one of them was a volley at the 6-yard line that even the announcers thought he should have put in. So seemed uncharacteristic. One second half rolled around, felt very melancholic. Neither team, Fulham took the lead early, then they kind of just coasted, and you kind of felt Crystal Palace coming back in, but good on Schlupp for keeping the unbeaten streak alive, because it really looked like Crystal Palace was going to lose it.
Yeah, they didn't come through for the victory, but they at least kept that unbeaten streak going. So, they're at this point it's all for personal glory because they're safe, but they're not. It was kind of it kind of was just a 13-14 match. That's kind of what it felt like when we got through to it, and that's how it played out in the end because that's where they were.
Yeah.
To a match that was actually so much more exciting. We both got it right, in fact. It was 1-1 as opposed to 2-2. But Manchester United draws Burnley, the surging Burnley side, 1-1 with an 87th minute penalty, giving Burnley the point.
Yeah, I want to say I was a little bit more right than you on this one, because I did say it was going to take a late Burnley goal
You did?
to come in and tie it. Huge points, especially with Nottingham, who we'll talk about in a minute, losing. I mean, it's going to be exciting here at the end.
Yeah. We now have 3 teams separated by 2 points, and Nottingham Forest and Burnley play the last match day of the season. So you called it a while ago that this may very well end up being whoever wins stays up. And
it's the Hollywood script. I mean, at this point, it seems like they planned it, honestly.
Yeah, and it'll depend a little bit on what Luton does, because that could add in another wrench in the plans. Like if Luton wins and they draw, then maybe Luton stays up. So it could be pretty crazy on the last match day, and theoretically, the title race could come down to the last day as well. City would have to slip up a little bit, but that's not unheard of. It's actually a little bit unheard of these past couple of seasons. We can get into April and May, but each season's different.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Similarly, Newcastle can beat Sheffield United 5-1. Officially, they are now relegated, Sheffield United, and they win out in Sheffield style because they give up an own goal and 4 other goals at the same time. So that's very much how their season has gone. Newcastle, we both got this right because we thought Newcastle would win because they're a significantly better team. They showed it here. It was a good look for Newcastle. Going into these last couple match days, they also don't have much to play for. Because they don't have much to play for.
Yeah, this was a head scratcher because United took the lead early.
Yep.
And even though they let Newcastle back in it, I feel like the first half was incredibly even.
Yeah,
and then it's like they came out in the second half and they just decided, hey, we all know what's going to happen, so let's make it the worst loss we've had in a couple of weeks. I don't know what happened in that second half, but they just fell apart. And it really wasn't even in the first, but it was kind of, maybe that was the only gas they had left in the tank. I don't know, but only a couple of their players actually looked sad at the final whistle. The rest of them just was like, business as usual. We knew this was coming. So we'll see what they do in the championship. I'd be interested to see if they can repeat what the teams are doing now and bounce back after a year.
We'll see. I mean, We've talked about how they'll need to make some changes on defense, so we'll see what they do in the off season. See if they can right that ship. They won't have to be facing as potent offenses, obviously. Won't have to be facing as potent of an attack, but still, you prefer being able to stay up more than one season at a time. Obviously, it helps the pocketbook a lot. Then to another team that came through for us. I didn't think they would. We both actually had this as a 1-1 draw. But my Wolves come through and beat Lutontown 2-1. A convincing 2-1. More convincing than 2-1 because they didn't score until the 80th minute. So, hey, we still got some gumption, some pride in ourselves, holding down the Molineux for once in a while.
When Luton scored in that 80th minute, I really thought it was going to end up being it's the 2-0 lead. It's not going to be good. Wolves sustained it. I mean, really, after that goal, it didn't feel like Luton was going to get it. But, yeah, it looked like Wolves were going to win by a lot. And then all of a sudden, it looked like Luton may come back and pull a Burnley and get a draw. So, I mean, the resolve, be at home to keep the win, that's probably a good end for Wolves. Not the last match week, but we feel good about going into the offseason with a win like that.
We didn't lose or draw Luton, a team that's currently getting relegated. That would be a blemish on the end of the season for sure. But we were able to avoid it, so we'll go forward. Who do we have up next? Let's see. We play City next. Yeah, we'll take the victory now. Thank you. It won't be happening later on. Then to another match we both got wrong here. Brentford loses to Everton 1-0. Brentford deciding to be, it's so disappointing for Brentford because they had 14 points deducted. They would be up in what? Wow, they'd be in 8th right now if they hadn't cheated.
Now, I did go back and do the math. So they did have some points awarded back to them.
Oh, they did?
After the initial. So initially it was 10.
Right.
And then they had 4 given back. and then it was another 4, but then now it says there's only 8 points deducted total. So it could have been 14, but it's only 8 with a couple of givebacks.
Okay, I mean, that still would bump them up to 44. So that would bump them to 12 from where they are. Boy, that's a lot of bouncing. But yeah, it's, they've decided to win their last 3 matches, and they have Lutontown up next, so they may be able to string together a nice last 5 matches of the season. Speaking of ending the season on the right foot, from what you had done in the middle there, they didn't win a match. Sheesh, they did not win a match between December 16th and this most recent win on April 6th. They went almost. What is it? December, January, February. Over 4 months without a win. And that's when they were really, and that was before they got their points back as well. So it was really desperate times for them. But they've improved.
Yeah, this match specifically shows the maturity of Everton, because they did nothing the entire match. They had 18 shots. Their only goal was the only one on target. Brentford, I think, deserved to win it, but again, it's that resolve. It's that late season resolve, and Everton's got a bit more to play for.
Again, it's that Jordan Pickford fella coming through for Everton again and again. The past 2 match days, he's been easy man of the match picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to the last one from Saturday, which, hey, guess what? We both got this one wrong as well. Aston Villa and Chelsea draw 2-2. This one also breaking pretty late with an 81st minute Conor Gallagher goal coming through. An exciting match. Aston Villa gets the own goal there in the 4th from Cucurella? Is it Cucurella? Oh, no.
Yeah, this one was strange because it was the exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought Chelsea would be really good in the first half. Aston Villa would short up in the second. Aston Villa shorted up at half, and it looked like they were going to coast. And then the young Chelsea Bucks come back out, get a good goal. Gallagher gets one at the end. Uncharacteristic from Aston Villa, especially at home. I don't hate the pick that I chose. Things happen, but man, that was frustrating to see them fall apart like that when they've defensively been so good at home.
Yeah, it's strange because they treated Chelsea like they're a better squad than they are. I mean, they were treating them as though they were as threatening. I mean, I guess with the Chelsea team, you never know if you're going to get one of the 5-goal Chelseas or the no-goal Chelseas. But still, they're treating their attacks somewhat similar to how they were treating Liverpool and Manchester City and Arsenal in the most recent match days. I mean, it's a 71-29 split for possession. And I think that Aston Villa could have taken it to Chelsea a little bit more and maybe got out of there with a full 3 points. But, they decided not to play it that way.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not a great look. And then we'll go to Sunday with did we both get this one wrong as well? Yeah. No, you got this one right. Bournemouth does score 3, but they hold Brighton scoreless, taking it 3-0 at Vitality Stadium there in Bournemouth. I picked it as 1-1, so I got this one wrong. But a good look for Bournemouth. I mean, the Cherries still going strong here at the end of the season.
I don't know if Brighton just got a case of the Burnleys this match week, but enormous amount of possession, a lot of shots, one on target. And it wasn't even a good look either. So it looked like Brighton has run out of ideas. Maybe it's because they think their manager's leaving. Maybe it's because it's the end of the year and they're safe. But, I mean, they just looked like they were dinking it around just for the sake of killing time. So yeah. I don't know what it was, but, yeah, Bournemouth took advantage. Not a lot of possession, but they dominated most of the match just from a pure counterattacking defensive standpoint.
Yeah, and the Cherries have won, they've won 5 of the last 9 outright. I mean, so they've done well here the past little bit. I mean, they have to play Arsenal next, so that's not great. But, they've done the work, right? They've done the work, got up to 48 points. Apparently that's a new record for them in the Premier League. So, hey, look, things are looking up for Bournemouth. To the next one. What do we got up next? It is, yes, Tottenham and Arsenal. One we both got wrong because Tottenham did not come through. They almost did. They tried. But this was another match. I guess this match week was a lot of disparate halves. Because in this one, Arsenal won the first half easily. I mean, they looked like they were going to run away with it. But then Spurs claw their way back into it and almost come back and draw level with a Heung-min Son penalty in the 87th. But didn't quite have enough to push themselves over the line.
Yeah, this one, boy, Tottenham just left it too late for the attempt to come back. But I would be interested to see if this was the high-scoring game where all shots on goal went in. I would be interested to see what that stat is, because 3 for Arsenal. Well, I guess the own goal, maybe they didn't all go in. The own goal was the very first one was an own goal. So, I mean, I guess it was on target, though, if it was an own goal, right? Actually, no, it'd be off target if it was an own goal. Yeah, off target because
otherwise
it's disregard all of that. Either way, not a lot of shots on target. Most of them went in, but yeah, good. Second half much better than the first half. First half Arsenal got off quick, and first half Arsenal looked good. Second half Arsenal looked shaky, and they're lucky Tottenham ran out of time, because there were a few chances there at the end where I really thought Tottenham was going to get it.
Yeah,
but. Tough stuff. A draw probably would have sealed the title for City. Instead, we fight on. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the Gunners live to play another day for the title. And then we get to our obligatory Manchester City victory over Nottingham Forest. 2-0. Easy. Not much to say about it. It was a smothering Manchester City win. I mean, Nottingham still had a good deal of shots, but only 2 of them on target. Erling Haaland keeping pace there up at the top of the Golden Boot race, so he's still in the running. He's still leading it, I believe, at this point, with KDB getting 2 abrasive assists. I don't think they really say that, but abrasive assists for Kevin De Bruyne in this one.
Yeah, Erling Haaland may end up with the worst season of his career and still win the Premier League Golden Boot.
Yeah,
and even if most of his goals have come against relegation or sides in the bottom 10, who cares? He's still scoring. Hopefully this kickstarts his end of season run where he gets a hat trick at some point. But yeah, it was good.
He also missed like 2 months of matches. So,
the injury hurt him, just like De Bruyne. I think he has 11 or 12 assists in the Premier League, and yet he missed the first 17 games. So he's already he could, depending on how these last 3-4 match days go, he could also creep up there on the assist chart and had missed half the season. So when those two are out there, it seems like they're linking up. They're slowly getting back to form. But yeah, good win. 2-0 probably doesn't do it justice, because it felt like Nottingham never really had a chance.
Yeah. It played that one. We both got right. We thought they would get that City would get 3, but they didn't need it. I'm showing KDB at 8 assists, which is only 4 off the top, so he could easily get back up there. But yeah, with missing half the season, him still being at 8 is a good result for him. All right. Anyways, that wraps up the week that was match day 35. We've got a broad spread of matches coming up, starting on Thursday, ending on Monday, right? We've got them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But that will be for later in this week. Right now, we've got 2 juicy matches to cover here for the midweek, which are the Champions League semifinals. What? Yes, time has arrived. Tuesday, later today, Bayern Munich takes on Real Madrid at Bayern's home place. And then, of course, we have Dortmund taking on PSG, starting at Dortmund. So, right, I think I'm doing this right, because I think is that correct? Yes, Bayern and it's all German first match. Come on, pull it up. Yes, okay, yeah. The German sides host the first one, the other sides host the other ones. So it's a big week in Germany. How do you think that these go? I mean, we've said before that I prefer starting as the away side. Away goals don't matter anymore, but still, it's easier to go home and know what you have to do than it is to be speculative.
I think the first one, Bayern versus Real Madrid, I think that one's going to end 1-1. I think Real Madrid is the better team. Personally, I think they have a better attack. They're better, well-rounded defense. So I think it goes 1-1, and I think Real Madrid is ecstatic. I think Dortmund PSG, that's a tough one. I want Dortmund to win. I think PSG is the better team. I'm going to go 2-1 PSG. I think Dortmund get one at home to give themselves some hope. I think they get it late so that they can really get some momentum going into the second leg. But, man, I think it's hard to pick the two German teams when historically they've been the best two in their league the last 15 years, but they didn't win their league title this year. Nope. So it's really hard to be thinking that they're now going to go in and beat teams like PSG and Real Madrid when Bayern lost in the second round of the Deutscher Pokal for the first time ever to like a tier 3 side this past, like just 3 months ago. So maybe their mindset has changed. Their mentality is better. Either way, that shows me that these teams aren't as talented as they have been. I think being at home, they keep it close. But second leg, I'll show my cards a little bit. Second leg, I don't think the German teams are going to do too hot. But I'm going 1-1, and I'm going 2-1 PSG over Dortmund. And who knows, maybe this week changes my opinion. You never know.
Yeah, I think I can't find the name, but you know what? Chouameni is going to start for Real Madrid. So that's smart. But there's been a couple of injuries on Bayern that I can't find at the moment that I know of. I think that Dortmund actually has the better shot of moving through here. I've got it as a 3-1 victory for Real Madrid. I think they put their foot on the neck of Bayern here pretty quick, and Bayern just isn't able to bounce back. And then for Dortmund, we always talk about how great their home field advantage is. I think they take it 2-1 over PSG. PSG looked better in their quarterfinal than I thought they would. They played it much better as a team than they had in the group stage. But I think that Dortmund will be able to slow them down more than they were in the quarterfinal and take out a victory and go into Parc des Princes with a goal difference lead and be able to play defensively there. I don't think that works to their strength to play defensively, and they may end up losing 2-1 and going to extra time and penalties. It was a brief preview, but I'll wait till the match actually sorts out before making my next prediction. But I think that the odds of us getting an all-German final are slim. I think that's the least likely option here out of the possible.
I mean, the odds are 25%. Actually, 50%.
What? 50? Hold
There's
on.
4 teams left.
There's 4 teams left.
That's my quick math. It's definitely wrong with all the scenarios.
No, it is 25% is correct because you have each one has a 50% chance to get in. Therefore, it's 50% times 50%, which gets you 25%.
My intuition is always correct. That's what I'll say on that.
If our predictions show anything, it's that our intuition is always correct. Anyway, that is the match days that we've got coming up here in the midweek. Hopefully there's some good ones. But before we get out of here, we need to get to our trivia question for the week. What do you got cooked up for us today, Keegan?
Well, I wanted to go Champions League trivia.
Okay, Champions League trivia.
And, I didn't want to make it too difficult. So my only question is, when did Bayern play Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final? They've met there before. There's a chance they could meet there again. So what year did it take place when Bayern played Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final? I believe it was in London. London when they played.
If that helps any of you out there. Well, if you think go ahead and drop a comment down below with a timestamp, and you'll have the sweet knowledge of you being better than everyone else if you get it right in our episode later this week when we come back for the wrap-up of Champions League first leg of semis and the extended weekend action that we have for the Premier League. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you go ahead and grab some coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you on the other side. Bravo!